Hello, and welcome to our Hogwarts Legacy series on a gameplay for all seasons. Today we're talking about Quidditch and how it may be integrated in the game. Now, to me, there are 4 possible approaches to Quidditch that the developers may take. In this video, we're going to lay them out, discuss the pros and cons. Now, if that sounds interesting and you haven't already, then hit that subscribe button if you so wish. We'd love to have you on board. So, the first approach, and what I'd expect the least popular one that the developers, good old Avalanche, could do is essentially decide that including Quidditch is too much of a headache, too resource heavy, and they can leave it out of the game, or at least the actual mechanic of playing it. So obvious con here is that it won't be popular, and given that there must be a rather large and colourful Quidditch pitch on the ground, not that we've seen anything on that yet, in any of the trailers or the trailer or anything like that, it will feel like a big hole in the game, as we know Quidditch is such an intertwined part of the Wizarding world and a significant activity and hobby for many a student. Now, the pro to this, though, is that you really can focus, or the developers really can focus on the free roam elements of the game and the story to make sure that it really is as good as it can be. But the good news, though, is I would say I don't think they're going to take this approach. I really think we'll probably have something better than that. We've already seen a nod towards it in the trailer, very, very briefly, in the courtyard. So do I think they'll do this first option? No. So what's option 2? Well, option 2 is they could, rather than completely ignore it altogether, is try and integrate it in the storyline or a side mission. So this will make sure it's in the game, but they won't really need to build out a full playable mechanic. Rather, they can just take elements and snippets from the game. This will also avoid the headache of how to get around games which could last for weeks or months, or however long they can last, which is, we all know, is a very, very long time. Will they do this approach? Maybe, perhaps they will, but I don't think that's going to please the real Quidditch fans among us. So that's where option 3 and 4 come in. Now, these options are that they accept that Quidditch is effectively a game in its own right and they just embrace it. So there are 2 ways they could do that. Firstly, they could embrace it but still consider it a nice to have and do it, but not really put their heart and soul into it. It'll be fun and worthwhile, but it'll feel a bit like a side part or a bit of a mini game, perhaps like Gwent from Witch-Free, which actually was amazing, but it's a card game, so it's a little bit different. Huge fans on that. Or something like the Yakuza game. There's lots of mini games there, some bigger than others, and like I say, lots of those are good as well. But the con to doing this approach, which is to do it but not put your heart and soul into it, is to it's gonna lack that replayability that a sort of well thought out and good mechanic for Quidditch would be, and it might sort of cheapen the overall experience of the game. So this is the final option then. I think you probably know what I'm going to say here, and this is that they just fully put their heart and soul into it. They accept it as a game. They just say, yep, we're making a full-on sports game within the wider game, and we're going to really put resources into it. We're going to think it out. We're going to think about the physics. We're going to make it good. And that would be amazing and would really please a large part of the players who are going to go and buy this game. But the con of this approach is it could perhaps detract from the polishing of the main game and what we are really buying it for. We're not buying this as a Quidditch game, not unless they really do, before it comes out, reveal how amazing the Quidditch section is. But, I doubt they're going to do that. It might be really, really good, but the focus is going to be on the free roam, the storyline, the being a student, and all the other pieces. So like I say, we want to make sure that's polished. You don't want to put loads of effort into Quidditch and make that better than the rest of the game, which I doubt they do. But, hopefully do go for this 4th option, but it doesn't take any of the gloss off the rest of the game. That would be the ideal, and hopefully what they're gonna do for us. So anyway, like this video if you've liked it, so I know that you have. Also, let me know your thoughts, subscribe so you don't miss out on similar upcoming content, and I'll see you on the next video.